Hello.
Hi guys, welcome to a brand new episode of OffAir. They said I need to get close to the mic, so can you guys hear me?
Okay, yeah. So, welcome. I hope you had a nice week.
Yeah, hope your week has been going great so far. Oh my gosh, so we need to start with what happened on Saturday. So basically, earlier on in the week, I got this message saying we would like to invite you to this, to Chimamanda's hosting Lupita. And I was like, yeah, I will be there.
I had to read it twice, okay, so I had to figure out what to wear.
Me and Lupita in a room. Oh my God. So we went down there and the funniest thing happened. So I have weights I'm going to tell people. So I have like an issue with, somewhat like running on time. So imagine I get to the building, I get to the venue, I'm upstairs, I'm already in the lift and the doors open and Chimamada's right there. And I'm just like, because there was cocktail before, then, dinner after. So the cocktail had just like ended. So she was right in front of the lift. So she looks at me, she goes, "Oh, thanks Toolz for coming, but you're a bit late." I'm like, well, so that was quite embarrassing. But yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh, Chimamanda just called me out for being late to her event.
And meanwhile, I got there on time and we're upstairs at this rooftop place, and it was nice. People would come and see. People were there. People that I've only seen in Vision, they were there. I'm telling you, I was like, they really pulled out so many people for this event. So she was going around the room with Lupita, introducing her to people, telling how this person is this person. First of all, went to this one table. This one table had R&D, Joke Silva, Jacobs, Onyeka. In fact, when I walked in, I was kneeling down, just greeting them one by one because they are your seniors. Then I went to sit down in one corner with some other people, and then so they got to our table and she started to talk to. I was sitting next to Inse, the actress. She's speaking to her, and then she said hello to Michelle. Moya look away because I was like, actually, my mother has never met me before, and let me not be sitting there smiling like a fool. And then she goes, "Hello, Gbemi, the OAP, yes."
I'm like, Jesus, you know my name.
I was like, eh. And I was just smiling. She was like, and then I got up to say hello, and then she says, "Oh, and Gbemi has this amazing podcast with Toolz," and nearly died. I was like, huh? And then Lupita was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yes, you should watch it." And she was like, "Oh, what's the name?" And then she told her assistant, "Come, write it down." I was like, "Yes, OffAir with Gbemi and Toolz, yes." And then she was like, "I said, just don't watch it."
Did you try to make me seem like a sidekick? Gbemi, my sister Toolz, she helps out sometimes. That's not true.
Let me finish. And I was like, "Yes, really, really entertaining. Just don't watch it with your mom." She was like, "Oh, I really want to watch it now." I was like, "Yes, you should." I was like, "Hey," and then I messaged Toolz like, "What the hell are you? Like, this is what just happened." And she was like, "Fuck off." And I'm telling you, and then that's exactly what happened. I was very excited. So whether she remembered, like maybe she like studied the guest list ahead of time, and they told her this person is this person and this person, because I was shocked.
No, but she seems to have like an amazing memory, because when the dinner started, so it's like, well, they did their pictures and so they came to sit down, and she went. How many people would you think were at the dinner?
About 100 or more.
She went round the room and she was like, because she wanted to, she had told Lupita before that, okay, these people are, very, very talented people in the creative industry. And she went around the room kind of saying, okay, there's this person, and then there's this person, and I was really impressed because, oh my goodness, if that was me, I'd probably remember like 10 people. So she went round and I'm telling Gbemi, I was like, "Do you think she's going to mention us?" And he was like, "No." I'm like, I bet she will. So she went round and she gave us a shout out. She's like, "Oh, I hear that Gbemi and Toolz have like an amazing show." And I was like, "Yeah, be a guest." And she's like, and she laughed and she didn't say anything. But the funny part of that evening was when she was going around the room, she didn't mention every single person. And there were some people that when they were near them, they were like, and she's like, "I don't know you, but the next lady sitting next to him." So there were some people that, that Sean Kingston song, "I saw their face drop." Oh my gosh, there are a few people that were just like, yeah. Because when you got the invitation, it felt like, oh my goodness, it was going to be a very, very small exclusive. It was small. It was actually, it was kind of small, but you're like, they know me. And she's like, "I don't know you." And Chimamanda legit said, "I don't know the gentleman sitting there, but right next to him is this person.
This person, and they've achieved such and such." So the worst person to sit with at an event, apart from this one, is Bovi, because he was on my right, Toolz was on my left. And every time Chimamanda would do that thing where she would skip over a person because she doesn't know them or whatever, he'd like kick me like, "Hey!" And I'm over here like, can you stop this, please? Because it was hard to keep a straight face. And the drinks were flowing. They were giving us drinks upon drinks upon drinks.
Do you know what? I'm sure she didn't do it deliberately, but every time she did it, it kind of felt like she was like, I don't know how you got in here, but
okay.
Moving on. And I don't think you were invited because I didn't put you down, but moving on. Oh, and I was just thinking, oh my goodness. I was thinking if she misses us, at least she said something about our show.
Yeah.
So, and we did something very, very noble. So there was a particular artist there who is known to have a little thing with beauty queens.
Yeah.
And a former beauty queen was sitting to my left.
Mm-hmm.
And
he was sitting opposite you.
He was sitting opposite me and she was sitting to my left. And she's like, oh, can I sit? Then at first I was like, yes. And then I was like, oh, hang on a second. And I had to say to her, I was like,
wait,
sorry.
no.
Oh,
I tapped you and I was like, we have to protect her at all costs. And you were like, then Toolz looks at the guy and she starts laughing. Then she now whispers to the girl, and then the girl is laughing. I'm like, no, seriously. And then so when Chimamanda went after us, she spoke about the lady, and then we saw that guy smiling. He didn't pay attention to anybody else. But when Chimamanda was talking about that babe, the beauty queen next to Toolz, you see the big smile. And now say, hey, he's targeting her.
I now had to tell her that you can't sit here. And she's like, why? And I'm like, because we have to protect you from flavor. Oh, that's the flavor. I don't care.
But seriously, that's the beauty queen slayer.
Yes, man.
That guy, he did not pay attention to anybody because I was looking at him. That was the first time I'd actually seen him like dressed up, sitting down,
and not like
quietly, and not shirtless and winding. Okay, so I was just like, oh, this is interesting. And then he wasn't paying attention. He was pressing his phone, was talking to his manager or whoever. The next thing, they said something about her. And he
looks up and he's like, hello, baby. You guys should leave Accent Guy alone, though. You guys went for him in the comment section.
Accent Guy does not have edges.
Like, I'm from London, innit?
Oh my god. Moving straight.
Oh my gosh. All right. So next thing we're going to talk about is Burna Boy. So he's been in the news over the last few weeks for one reason or the other. And the most recent thing he said was, nobody fucking paved the way for me. If you're not fella or my family. Well, he didn't say it in that accent. You didn't pave the way for me. And I saw that and I was just like, oh, I was like, why? Because for me, do you know the crazy thing? I feel like, if you don't know, Gbemi and I work at a particular radio station, The Beat. And I feel like we literally have been playing Burna since the very beginning because his, was Kochi's manager?
Like A&R.
His A&R guy used to work with us. And to be very honest, if you're in that situation, you'd expect the person to push and push and push him, make it. But he literally was just like, oh, there's this guy, have a listen, what do you think? And we're like, oh my gosh, this is actually pretty dope. And I remember listening to Like to Party and everything. And I was like, I loved it. So literally, we just kind of ended up being
we kind of took him in, took under our wings. We were even
the
there when he was
base.
recording some songs. At the house, they had this house in Lekki Phase 1, the AR house. They used to have all these parties. And we were pretty much, it was like our little brother. So we're just like, oh, we helped you.
Yeah.
And then now for you to say that nobody paved the way, it's not even us. It's not even about us.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the artists who came before. It will be ridiculous of me being in this business for how long and then saying nobody paved the way for me. Are you joking? Before I even thought about getting into this line of work, I looked at people before me. I looked at, what path they took. Oh, if this person can do this, oh great, I can do it too. So people who are you the first artist to come out of Nigeria? You're not the first.
So I feel like the likes of so I moved back to Nigeria in 2009, and I remember there were some artists that were like, oh my goodness, gold dust back then. Things changed. This is the entertainment industry, but I still feel like they were quite instrumental to where Afrobeats is now. Like the Banj, for example, I feel like sometimes Banj doesn't get the credit he deserves because his very sort of flamboyant ways and everything. I feel like he was one of the first Nigerian artists to get a top 10 in the UK.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then even before them, the Banj, let's take it way back. Let's take it to the sunnier days, the Majek Fasheks. Majek Fashek performed on David Letterman years ago. Are you joking? Like, you cannot say that people did not pave the way for you. Whether you met them before or not, you can't say that people did not pave the way for you. Like, that's wrong.
To be honest, I was quite disappointed because I'm just like, look, where you are, you're not like, you might have, gone a bit further than a few people, but they made giant steps before you.
They walked so you could fly.
Yeah, because I feel that you're not the first Afrobeats artist, or I don't like that word Afrobeats.
Well, unfortunately, this is what people are calling it. So.
I don't like it. So you're not the first one to, sort of make it big. You're not the first one to get like global recognition. So I think, and then I don't know if he sort of means that, well, nobody actually gave him a direct opportunity. But the crazy thing is, I've known of people that have done things for me. They've never told me. It's much later on that you actually find out that there are people in your, like, that are part of your fan club. They don't always come and tell you. They don't say, oh, I did this and I made this call for you, but they just do it because they love what you're doing. They respect you and everything, and they believe in you. So you need to remember that there are those people around. There are those people that literally have campaigned for you. You don't know them, or you might know them. They might not have told you, but they've been behind you. So I think it's a bit disrespectful.
It is, especially for, okay, when I got into radio, you could not listen to 3, 4, 5 Nigerian songs back to back on radio. And I keep telling this story because people don't understand. 2005 was mostly foreign music and maybe a sprinkle of some African music and then some Nigerian music. And I remember there was this 1 hour between 12 and 1 where it was called Afro Tropical something, and it was just basically African songs. Basically it was like 10, 12 African songs we play back to back. You say a little thing about the song, you let it play. And slowly but surely I started to put in Nigerian music, and the next thing you know, it will be, okay, 6 Nigerian songs and 4 African songs. The next thing was mostly Nigerian songs. And I got a query for it at work, and I had to do like a presentation and explain why we should have 1 hour straight of strictly Nigerian music. And thankfully, they actually answered me. Until today, it's still there. I don't work at that station anymore. But sometimes I listened the other day and I heard it and I just smiled that I did this. Because nobody was doing it back in the day. Think about it, 2005. It's not like, oh, it was 100 years ago. So for you to now sit there and say, but okay. Whatever.
God bless us all. But you know what? There are going to be some people. There's someone that's just about to blow now. That's going to go even further. I had a chat with Rema the other day, and he actually we spoke about this, and he was like, "Thank you to the people that came before me. Thank you to this. Thank you to I was like, that's how it should be. That's how it should be. There's so many things that I feel like I've achieved in my life that I can't say it was just me. I feel like there are people that were before me. There are people that, basically did pave the way. So anyways, that's how we feel. Yeah. Now, moving on. So this gentleman has also been in the press recently, Pete Edochie. Do you want to say what he said?
Is that say so?
How do you...
I thought it was
Edochie.
What did you say?
Edochie.
Don't accent guide this.
Is it don't accent guy?
We're gonna make you a t-shirt that's accent guy.
The accent guy.
Anyway, yeah, it's good. Okay, so
money's not a right gift. Sorry. I'm sorry. He doesn't even talk like that. I'm sorry. He doesn't even talk like that. I'm just taking the piss. I'm just taking the piss. Okay. All right. So what did he say?
There was this clip where he said that he thinks African men who go down on one knee to propose to their women are fools. And he went on, I think they should just roll the tape.
But any young man who gets down on his knees to propose to a girl is not just an idiot. The bloody fool, the compound buffoon. And the reason why I'm saying it is simple.
Why are you saying it?
We try to copy white people, right? I believe in the sacrosanctity of our culture, the essence, the core of our culture. The white man kneels down to propose to a girl. You know what it means? The girl takes over the family. This is why whenever you disagree with your wife overseas, you are kicked out and your wife takes the house. Don't you people know that? The young men like you who should ever be in charge of your destiny, you want everything about the women. That makes you all fools.
I think we need to check if everything's okay with him. Because he's an older gentleman. Maybe he thinks he's acting a movie. Maybe the camera's in front of him and, he thought action and, he felt, I don't know, because it doesn't, am I lying though?
He has become a meme.
In the last, should I say year or so, he's been saying a lot of cuckoo stuff. So maybe that's what it is.
Accent guy here, before you got here, accent guy and I were having a chit chat. We're not fighting.
They were fighting.
And then he said,
Wait, first of all, so we had this conversation and a lot of the Nigerian guys that I spoke to are of the same mentality that, why should I go down on one knee to propose to my wife? There were even, or proposed to a female. There were even people that were like 3 out of the.
I don't understand. You're supposed to just stone her with a ring or something.
I don't know.
Okay.
3 out of like 6 guys that were in the room were married, and none of them went down on one knee because they felt like me going down on one knee does not mean that the marriage. Does that mean the marriage will be successful? Does that mean I love you? And I was just like, and then I was fighting for going down, and then they were like, you grew up in the UK, you're a white boy. And I was just like.
I actually Googled this because we're having a conversation about this, and going down on one knee back in the day signified that you were devoting yourself to that person, that you were showing your loyalty and to that person. So that's what it signifies. That's the whole purpose of, I love you so much, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you be my wife? etc. So I don't see anything wrong with the guy going on one knee or whatever it is.
I don't think if I'd been proposed to and it was just like, oh, you want to get married? Here, your ring. I'd probably just be like, okay, no, thank you. So
based on, but for this person,
I'm a diehard romantic.
Yes.
So that's stuff like that's actually important to me.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What this is borrowed culture. What were we doing before to propose to our wives? Like,
actually, before they were giving you to the man. Yeah, your parents will call you and say, "This is the person.
Okay.
This is the person that we want you to marry. Be friend, make friends. That's it."
So for me, like I saw that and I was like, to be honest, I didn't even watch the clip fully because I was like, this just didn't,
No, it's a short clip, but
yeah, but I was like, I didn't know where to, I didn't know what the point was.
I'm very wary of people who use culture as an excuse, or when it comes to men and women's issues, or when it suits their argument, then they bring out culture, forgetting that there are aspects of this same culture that are harmful to both men and women.
I feel that culture and tradition, I'm not saying do away with everything, but then you need to remember that not everything that's traditional makes sense. Back in the day, they were killing twins because they thought they were witches. Back in the day, there were so many different things. So I'm like, if you're going to say you're 100% traditional, then do you still believe that killing twins is the right way to go? So I don't know, the whole getting down on one knee. I mean, if as a woman you're not particularly bothered, but I don't see how it means. Is it that it takes away from the guy or something? Because I don't understand the argument.
So yeah, the people that I spoke to felt like, they felt like it's a Western thing to do.
So
but wait, why is it wrong?
So why is it wrong? So are microwaves.
They felt like it was a Western thing to do. 2,
yeah, but why is it wrong?
They felt like, why should I go down on one knee
as a man?
Like that's the sort of mentality that I got from them. To be fair, I was surprised as well. I was just like,
so why were you guys fighting? I didn't get it.
He was talking about cooking. We're gonna have that conversation another time.
But you know what? I did actually. Okay, you know what? Let's just just mute Gbemi's mic. Let's just mute. But you know what? I actually asked this question on my social media page and on my Instagram page, and I wanted to know because somebody I follow, she has 2 sons, and she was cooking. I think her son wanted to eat something, and she's like, okay, you know what? Come into the kitchen, and she was like, make him cook, and I was like, oh, fantastic! That's what I want to do as well. And I put this question up that, okay, so parents, when you're cooking, do you have your sons in the kitchen, or is it still just something for your daughters? And a lot of people, I was actually very surprised. I was pleasantly surprised. A lot of people said that, look, it's not just a daughter thing anymore. That, you know what, my son comes in as well. My son, and there was a lady that said, well, it was just her and her son. Like, they didn't have any help, so she couldn't leave him upstairs and come downstairs and cook. So she would, have him in the kitchen, and then kids pay attention and all that. But then there was still some people that are like, no, ladies, you need to own your kitchen because. So for me, I'm just like, I hate it when you have when there are conversations that start out with, oh my gosh, and a woman can't cook. I'm like, you should be able to cook. I feel like cooking is a survival skill. If you don't have,
that's why we were arguing.
You don't think it's a survival skill?
That's why we were arguing. And his
let me tell you,
argument
wait
that
accent guy, you might be able to survive one of us, but you can't survive 2 of us. So
wait.
You might. We will tear your singlet today. We will tear your singlet today.
You are right.
So wait. Very quickly, we're not going to turn it into an ugly thing, but very quickly, do you not think that cooking is a survival skill?
I do think cooking is a survival skill.
So what is your issue?
I believe that a woman should know how to cook.
And not a guy?
And not, wait, so...
I feel... It's a plus. If I didn't say a guy shouldn't know how to cook, but I feel like it's a plus if the guy knows how to cook. But I feel like a woman, you should not like.
Why? Because she was born with a spatula in her hand? I don't understand.
No.
We're going to edit all this part.
No, lie. You're not
Wait. I don't see. I feel. Wait. I feel like okay. A lot of people, you know, you go to university, you get your job and everything. A lot of people, they move out of their parents' house, right? You get your own place. So what the hell are you doing? Let's say you don't have your dad isn't a billionaire, you're not a billionaire, or whatever. You don't have the money to have, you know, to get staff, to get like a cook or whatever. You grew up in the UK.
Yeah, and
you
I
had your own place.
Yeah.
So why is it not something that why should it be like something that's a plus?
So my argument,
why shouldn't it be something that you should just be able to do?
So my argument was, I feel like some women try to downplay the fact that there are like, as much as you wanna say that men and women are equal, that's fine, but there are gender roles. Like you can't.
Being able to cook
role.
should not be a gender role, because that shit doesn't make sense to me. Because and when I also hear like women say, "Oh, I can't cook," I'm just like, it doesn't make sense. I feel like as a functioning adult, you should be able to look after yourself.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If a woman tells you that she doesn't know how to cook, and a man tells you he doesn't know how to cook, which one would you feel more somehow about?
I feel like both of them. I'm like, so wait. So if you had to look after yourself, you wouldn't be able to do that? So it's not even like, oh, well, you're a guy, so you're allowed to. No, you should be able to. So really and truly, if you had your own place, you know, your parents were like in a different country, are you going to say you'd have takeout every single day?
No. The argument that I'm making.
Huh? You can't, can you cook? Why can't you cook?
Because I don't like it.
No. See, there's not wanting to cook and there's not being able to cook. I feel like everybody is able to cook. No. Maybe a lot of people don't like to cook.
So now you said
I don't want to. Most people don't like to cook.
Yeah, there's not liking to cook. That's different from.
Like crap. My food tastes like crap. So I'd rather.
Then you need. You know what? In this day and age. See, that's the issue. In this wait. In this day and age, there's actually no reason for you not to be able to cook, man or woman. There's no reason for you not to be able to cook, because you literally can go on YouTube and you can they literally show you put the salt like this.
Watch a video first to cook. No, I'll buy food or something.
So that's what you. So that's your life.
Yeah, that's my life.
What a shame.
What
a shame.
As a woman, I wouldn't marry a woman that didn't know how to cook. Not because I can't cook, but I feel like
Gbemi's blood is bubbling.
Because I can't cook, but growing up, so you feel she's less of a woman because she can't cook. What were you doing growing up? What were you doing?
What was he doing?
Because growing up, let me tell you something. And Gbemi said the exact same thing. Growing up, my mother never called me into the kitchen. She used to call my sister.
Thank God we're raising a new generation then.
And now you're raising a new generation. So in 20 years, that new generation will be different. But the generation we grew up in, I was playing FIFA and Nintendo.
But why can't you change?
So you were playing FIFA and Nintendo.
Why can't you change?
Wait. The FIFA and Nintendo that you were playing,
I'm scared.
has it added money to your pocket?
No.
Are you now a star footballer?
No.
Are you now a star gamer? What are you doing now, accent guy?
I have a counter.
What are you doing now, accent guy?
That's not the argument.
Since you played FIFA and Nintendo.
Wait. Dio wants to give us a defense.
Editing takes 5 hours. I'll watch a 30-minute YouTube video for 2 hours.
Were you born with a camera in your hand?
Yeah.
So you weren't. So there was. So for me, wait, can you cook?
Little.
For me, I feel like no one's saying be like a for like Michelin star chef. Nobody's saying that, but you should be able to look after yourself. So things like laundry, things like I don't get it how you can be an adult, how you can be a functioning adult and you cannot clean after yourself. You cannot cook. You cannot.
I think that
no. But for me,
listen.
People that wait, we're talking about the people that I will let me talk. The people that can proudly say, I can't cook, I don't know how to clean, I don't know how to... For me, I hate ironing. But if I have to do it, I'll do it. You know, so I just...
If I have to cook, I'll cook.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. There's not liking cooking and there's not being able to cook.
There are
If you can eat, you should be able to
There are
cook.
3 life
Guys,
skills.
you guys are getting it.
Excuse me.
It's not a
There are
life
3
skill.
life skills that
It's not a life skill
can
for- that a
I
man
you
needs to
have been
have.
talking since. There are 3 life skills that every adult should have. You should know how to drive. You should know how to swim. And the third thing is you should know how to put something on the fire. You might not be the greatest chef, like she said. You might not even know how to make jollof rice. But at least you can boil white rice.
Yes.
Or whatever it is. But you should know how to put something on the fire. Now, my own issue with you is that you are thinking it's not a big deal for a guy not to know how to cook, but it's a big deal for women not to know how to cook.
Yes.
You, Sarah, your casual sexism is smelling. Hey!
Very no.
Yeah.
It's not casual.
Yeah, it's because a lot of guys think
not
being
ca-
no.
no.
Let me explain something to you. A lot of guys think that sexism means
Let me do something.
ooh, smell it. A lot of guys think that sexism means that women, I hate women. No. A lot of you are casual sexists and you don't know.
Let me ask you a
Casual
question.
misogyny and you don't know.
Let me wait. Let me ask you a question. So you plan to have children, right?
Yes.
So you have, a son and a daughter. Would you be okay with both of them being in the kitchen, or do you think it's just something that your daughter should do?
In this society, or the society that we're growing now, it would be okay for both of them to be in the kitchen.
But
what I'm saying is the society that we grew up in,
Yeah,
the guys
but-
were not in the kitchen.
But wait a second.
And the damage has already been done.
But you
so
know what?
me knowing
Hang
how
on a
to
second.
cook, me knowing how to cook was because I wanted to learn, because I lived alone.
See,
But
wait,
you-
but
you
one
have
second.
no ex-
You
I
grew
feel like
wait a second.
you have no
grew
excuse
up
as a woman.
You grew up in a certain, with certain traditions and everything. But now you're older, you know better. So you shouldn't still be spewing this stuff. So you can't be saying that I wouldn't marry a woman if she can't cook.
I wouldn't.
If
What
this,
are you doing?
Good luck to you and your future
What are you
missus.
doing? Why
Good
do you not know how
luck.
to
so
cook?
okay, wait.
He's not
If
lying.
I- if
Hang
I
on a
know
second.
how
Hang on a
to-
second.
Ask
So
any
you
guy.
have. So which
Let's look at my wife, I
wait.
can't cook.
Which celebrity do you have?
I know lots of guys.
Which celebrity do you have a
I have
crush on?
friends who married
Which-
my.
Which celebrity do you have a crush on?
We are not going to speak about that on
Let's just
OffAir.
okay, not her, but let's just say like a I don't know, maybe on the Rihanna level or whatever, and Rihanna's like I can't cook. I don't like
marry
to
her.
cook.
will
Excuse
smash
me,
and go.
because
Smash and go.
and the
You're
reason
not-
why I'm
You're not wife
engaging.
material. I can't
Listen,
put you. I can't.
don't
live
say
with
anything
you.
about wife material because I will throw my shoe.
You're not wife
I
material if you
You're
don't know
not
how to
wearing
cook.
shoes.
Baby, no violence. I swear to God. What the fuck is wife material?
The same way. If I can't provide for my family, I'm not. If you're a man that doesn't have a job,
Thank you,
you
Daddy.
have no business trying to put a woman in the house.
My bottom
It's the same
line,
thing.
my bottom line
It's
is
the
this.
same thing.
My bottom line
Because you
is
wouldn't
this.
marry a broke guy.
You
Come
should,
on.
as a functioning adult, you should be able to cook. You
Drive
should be able
and
to look
swim.
after yourself.
Especially if you're a woman.
And
Especially if you're a
Stop
woman.
now. Can we move on? Next topic.
I'm going to hold my ground
It's gonna
on.
be my mom.
you guys,
I swear to God.
Please
you know
don't
what?
put your mouth.
At the beginning of this show, I said, you guys chill on Accent Guy. You have my permission to descend on him.
I can tell you his full
Send.
name, his name and his
Send.
surname, and his
Send.
middle name.
Can I ask the audience a question? How many men would marry a woman that doesn't know how to cook?
Excuse me, but why do you keep saying marry? So if you don't marry, you won't go to heaven. What's this marry? What's this? Is it a trophy?
No, it's not.
I don't
a trophy.
understand.
But
What's
you
this?
know,
I'm not going to
it's
marry
not
a
by-
woman.
it's
Hey,
not by-
marry yourself.
It's not by force to marry. It's not by force to
here's
marry.
and the reason
But
why
I know
the
if you
reason
don't know how to cook,
But listen,
Yeah,
listen.
we are
And
only
the reason why listen, please. And the reason why I'm arguing this argument is the next thing you're saying, I'm not going to marry a woman who doesn't know how to cook. Okay, great. So she knows how to cook. Then your next whatever is, but you're not even cooking in the house. She's busy.
Go on ahead now.
Use
Use your Sunday to twang.
Azeez is also you want, so she must. So you can't enter the kitchen and cook for your
You see,
family.
that's the thing. I never said I can't enter the kitchen.
But what he wants, because it's gonna be,
I
why
never
can't I
said
eat
so.
my wife's cooking? You know what?
I
Accent
never said
guy,
that's
please.
no.
Accent
Don't
guy.
put words in my mouth. Don't put words in my mouth. I never said I can't enter the kitchen. But the fact that you are a woman and you don't know how to cook, like, you drop from here all the way down. There's no
Accent guy.
Disappoint me, sir.
Wait,
Disappoint
accent
me.
guy, your
You're
fans are
disappointed
dropping.
You
as well.
disappoint
Can I tell
me,
you why
bro.
you disappoint
You
me?
disappoint
Because
me.
you are trying to hide behind this whole men
Hide
and
behind
women
what?
are equal.
So you don't think that men and women are
Oh no!
Hey,
Next
Jesus.
week, next
Wait,
week.
let me
Jesus.
finish.
No,
Can I
no,
finish?
don't finish. Cut off his
Oh
mic.
my God.
Thank you. Next.
Let's end this before I kill somebody here. That's all. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Share this with your friends. We would like to hear your views as well. I'm not saying you should attack accent guy, but please let's hear your thoughts as well. We want to know what you think. Feel free to speak your mind. Feel free.
I know my men will back me up.
Gbemi's gonna be checking the comments, by the way. So
My men will back me up. My men will back me
Men
up.
and women
But
should
I
know
just-
how to cook. You
both
should
of
not
them
keep it to
it shouldn't be
women should know how to cook.
Do you know
That's
the crazy?
my point.
Do you know the craziest thing, right? Like for me, growing up, actually, to be honest, growing up, my mom had, she's got 1 boy and 5 girls. And a lot of the times we were the ones in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? Like whenever my dad, God rest his soul, whenever he would have guests, different royalties and everything, he'd be entertaining them every now and then. He comes to the kitchen, and my dad was a great cook. So for me, my dad was an Oba, he was the king. So if he could cook, like every time he would actually come, when I was still in the UK, when he'd come to visit and everything, my dad would do a full English breakfast by himself, hash brown that I still can't make by myself today. He can do it. So if somebody as traditional as my father can actually cook, I don't see how, it just doesn't make sense to me.
You see, you're still missing it because I'm not saying men shouldn't know how to cook.
No, I'm
I
just
think
saying
they
that it
should.
should be as a functioning adult. If you consider yourself an adult, then you should be able
Not
to
if you
cook.
didn't grow up in
My
a circumstance
annoyance.
where
Let me tell you something.
See, I
Azeez,
don't,
what you're going to
wait.
learn
I don't
how to
fucking
do.
care if your mom didn't bring you to the kitchen. As an adult, if you're living by yourself, you can't say, "Oh, well, my mom didn't teach me how to cook, so I can't cook."
You need to realize that this is the era of unlearning nonsense. Okay, there are some things that my mom
Unlearn, nigga.
Listen, there's some
Unlearn.
things- no, listen. I'm the only girl, and there were 2 boys, and there's some things that my mom would do then and even now, and then I pull her to the side and respectfully tell her, "This isn't it. You can't do this, and this is the reason why." I'm not going to go into details right now on camera, but there are certain things, and she's like, "Oh, okay." And then she says to me, "I really like your generation and how you speak up for yourselves and how you find ways to make life easier for yourselves and stuff like that." So all that nonsense of a man must do this and a woman must do that, at the end of the day, is harming both sexes. We'll continue this conversation another time.
Yeah. Sorry, well, let me back to what she just said now. So if you're saying something about gender roles, so do you feel that the financial commitments for the home should be solely on the man?
The financial commitments on the home.
Should they be solely just for the man to worry about?
Okay, so once again, in the generation that we're in,
I don't fucking care about
It's not-
generations. I'm just asking for your thoughts.
no, I don't think it should be solely on
Okay.
the man. But I feel like the majority of it should be solely on the man.
Okay, so back in the day, if we're going to talk about generations and shit, that back in the day it used to be just solely on the man. So now, funny enough, when I ask a lot of my male friends, they say that they would not marry a woman that doesn't have a job because they expect she can work, but she has to cook as well, or what?
I'm not saying you have to cook. I'm saying it is wrong for you to not know how to. Like, how do you, as a woman, how do you not know how to cook?
I hate the way you say as a woman.
Why do you
That
hate
thing is
it?
pinching me, man.
Oh, okay, as a female, why do you not know how to cook? It's the same thing. As a
It's
guy,
pinching me.
it's like
say female.
It's the same-
Never say female.
Baby, sit down.
Can I say one more thing? It's the same.
Never.
It's the same way I would say as a male or as a guy. Why do you not know how to change a tire?
Dear Azeez, accent guy. I thought we closed this thing.
As then guy. Okay, let's close. You know what?
Can I say one more thing?
Wait,
Can I say one
let
more
me
thing?
end the
No,
weekend.
please
Oh,
let me say one more
Jesus.
thing.
Oh, I want to go and sleep.
I have females who drive, for instance. There's a reason.
Females. What?
Okay, I have.
Wait, let me.
friends.
Are you?
I have
Wait,
friends
are you
that
happy
are
that they're
women.
allowed to drive, or do you think they shouldn't be
Wait.
allowed to drive?
I have friends that are women who drive. When your cars break down, there's a reason why they call their father, or they call their brother, or they call their boyfriend. Why do you not call your mother? Why?
Ask your friends now.
No, because
I will be honest.
No matter how much you want to hide behind
you know what
it,
happens? You know what
there are
happens?
gender roles.
You know what happens? Let me tell you something. When my car tire is bad or whatever it is, I go to Yinka, my tire guy. You know why? Because he has skills in that aspect that he learned and using to earn a living for himself. And so I call him and tell him to do it. Likewise, not that I don't know. Listen, not like I don't know how to cook, but guess what? Christmas Day, I ain't cooking shit. I will call, what's that his name? Godfrey, what's his name? The cook. He will call and he will cook everything and I will pay him his money and we enjoy Christmas.
Thank God you can afford that.
Well, too bad. So you hustle so you can hire whoever it is you want to hire to what. That's why I hustle so much so that I can afford good things.
Amen.
Okay?
Yes,
So don't tell me anything about gender roles or no gender roles or a man must pay the most or a man must not pay the most. Dead that shit. Just because it happened when you were growing up does not mean it should happen now.
Can I tell you something? It can never be
So
dead.
on
Never,
that
ever.
note,
Gender roles
thank you so much for watching today. This was a very, very heated episode. I have a feeling that the fight is going to continue after we say goodbye. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very love each other.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any comments, you can always comment on our YouTube page. If you have any questions, if you have an issue that you want us to talk about, send us an email, Gbemi and Toolz at offairshow.com. Yes. Twitter.com. You can find us on Twitter at twitter.com/offair_show. On Instagram is OffAir Show.
Can I give you a hug?
No,
the female is not smiling.
I will box you. Swear to God.
I need to know what's wrong with this female.
You know what? Accent guy. You know, sit down. Sit down.
I apologize for calling you a female.
Sit down.
You're a
You
woman.
didn't know it was out of ignorance.
A very beautiful woman.
Out of ignorance, yeah.
It was actually
She educated herself.
Yeah.
Shout out to she.
Actually, you know what? I need you to stand there as we're leaving the studio. So, you know, I can't.
Accent guy doesn't go.
Yeah, comrades.
We'll record the fight though.
Everyone take a deep breath. Let's end this episode. Thank you for watching. Catch you next time. Bye.
Bye. As I was saying.